Hi there, and welcome to Ades Workshop. And I've titled this episode as Ades Workshop Hits the Deck, purely because this is the one where I get on finally and build my decking. I've been threatening to do it for a while, and I finally got on, and it's virtually complete now. A few little bits and bobs to do, but we'll take you through step by step as I went through it, so to speak, as to what I could catch on video and what I couldn't. But I've shown you the sort of main bits as it develops. No machining in this one, I'm afraid, but still a fair bit of engineering, albeit structural rather than mechanical. So anyway, I hope you enjoy it, guys. Cheers. So, the timber has arrived. All the hardware's arrived. Coach bolts, stud rod, all the bits and pieces I'm going to need, screw, decking boards, 6x2s, joist hangers, it's all there. Posts there. I think everything I'm going to need to build my 3.2 meters by 3.2 meters decking in that corner. As you can see, the back door is a good 1.2 meters from ground level on this lower step, and it's all going to end up right across at that upper level. So let's get on with it. Well, here we are, end of day one. And I've pretty much got the frame up. I haven't done the rear legs to support the beam that's against the building. Front legs are done. I've drilled out into the concrete underneath each one of the legs, and there's a piece of 16mm studding glued in to the concrete, and a matching hole up inside each post, which is glued into the post. And I've also put some angle brackets because they were turning a bit on me. Everything's coach bolted with M12 studding, big washers. See if I can bring you in on that. Yeah, everything's coach bolted like that. I'll give you another view. Don't know whether you can pick it up. All the joists are on joist hangers, all screwed in, as many screws as I could get into them. Angle brackets in the corners. 6x2 C24 timbers, and they are treated, 6x2 or 150/50 I think is the size now. They're all bleeding metric, and as you can see, every one of these posts has got coach bolt right through. I'm going to notch the legs in at the back to do the rear posts against the wall there. That wall plate has got 6 M12 roll bolts into the wall, M12 by hundreds, into the concrete wall, and they've been pushed through, and nuts and bolts on the inside. And yeah, it's been a busy day's work. Let's have a look. I fitted my first few and let them hang over. As you can see, the end one and the one in the middle and the one this end is sailing over the end, and the same with my joist that it's all sat on here. Double joist on the end, just to give it extra strength on the end. And my thinking being that when I come to put the posts up, or the decking posts, that the main post will come up through here, bolt through the middle of there, and it can bolt or be screwed with like 5 screws into the main timbers. So it's going to be rock solid. Those posts are not going anywhere. So that's it. 3.2 meters by 3.2 meters. Looking at it, I could, if it was sort of 2.5 meters, I could have got away without the centre support with these 6x2s. But I decided to put one in anyway because you don't want it bouncing around. So yeah, happy with it. So that's the end of the first day of working. Putting up with it. So just a quick update on where we are. I'm day 3 and I've run out of timber. At least I have for the main decking project. I've got a load of this strip which is going to be used for the fencing around the deck. So I'm just giving it a coat of like timber care, a sort of stain, sealing it up before I put it together. So I'm sort of cutting it to length and then doing hole strips at the same time, just trying to save some time with washing brushes out, that sort of thing. So I'll show you where I am. So as I said, I've run out of timber for phase 2. Phase 1, let me just show, is this, I believe it's 3.2 meters by 3.2 meters deck section. And the surface is almost complete. I need one more bit of deck on the end. And I'm just starting on the handrails. I had enough to make the 2 posts, enough timber left, or posts left over. I'm making them 100mm square posts. I wasn't sure what height to make the railing, you know, to keep it all in spec, so to speak. One of my local pubs has got a raised decking, very similar. It's not built as strongly as I've built mine. And that has very similar railings on the outside. And the overall height of their railings is 900. So I'm thinking that the spec has got to be for, in fact it's more than a 5-foot drop from theirs. Mine is less than a 5-foot drop. It's about 55 inches. So I've gone for, the posts are 1 meter overall. And the top of my deck is going to be about 950, so I've just got the post stuck above. So those are the support rails you can see, the letter H shape, 3x2, should we call it. They've all been stained before I put them together, all the ends, you know, where they've been sawn or sealed up, just trying to, you know, give it a bit of life. I sealed the posts up before they went in. No, actually I sealed the posts up after they went in. I got a bit carried away. So yeah, the bits of timber I'm doing now are ready to do the infill of the panel. I need another post for the far end. The hole is there, the slot in the decking, what have you, is all there ready to take it. Up in that corner, let me show, you can see the slit there, that's to take the 3rd post, and obviously there'll be another handrail between this post and the end post. So that's where I am, so I'm just going to get on with it. As you probably noticed before, I've only painted so far up here. Access to that top half was, without a treble ladder, so to speak, was absolutely awful. Now I've got the decking up, I'll be able to continue painting the back of the house from there on up. The cracks have all been rendered over. There's a new bit of rendering on the side of the house, and the flat roof there, which is, let me see if I can point, this one is new, and the flat roof on the top is new, fiberglass flat roofs, new gutterings and what have you. As you can see down the corner, this corner, the new render is all on this space of the house. The back of it wasn't so bad, a few cracks, but they've been filled, but it wasn't loose. So yeah, it's going to be painted when it's done, otherwise it's going to look an eyesore. Well, so far so good. That's the first of the 2 fence panels on this section of the decking done. There's another one to do there, and that's the first one done. And as you can see in the background, it's Ades workshop tucked in the corner. I have been neglecting it a bit lately, but then again I have been busy. So here we are, like 9 days later, and my second batch of timber has arrived, so I can get on with phase 2. I got a helper. It's called Lucius. Yes, Lucifer more like. door. Oops. As you can see, metal workers G clamp on there. I haven't got wood clamps. I don't do a lot of work in wood. Okay. Whack a couple of screws in there, stop it moving. Where's my box of screws? Put the level the right way up, right? We'll call that good for the time being. So these pieces here are the decking supports, which support the decking joists, which go the other way. So this is the main frame. So they're going to be bolted through M12 to the legs. So they're supported solidly to the main legs, basically. And then all the joists that run this way, all will sit on top of that. They'll be toe screwed into the existing decking on the top, much the same as I did to set up the first one, and we'll be away. So we got that one running along there. I screwed a piece of block to that leg, just to support it while I clamped and put a screw in that end. Set it up, check for level, put one screw in, and now we're going to drill them through for M12 bolts. So that's one bolt that end, and one bolt that end. I can now remove that temporary block. I'll put a couple of screws in there as well, why not? Same the other end. Well, we're getting somewhere now. 2 fence panels, as you can see. Had to make another one to fill in the end gap, and obviously fitted the end post. I painted that wall, which is like the adjacent wall to my next door. The house wall is painted so far up, as you can see, but I'm going to have to paint the rest now that I can get to it easier. Secondary deck complete. Got to fill in down that far side there, as you can see, and the 2 posts, bit of glare going on with the sun here. 2 posts in place for the outlet for the staircase. This, let me just show you this. So I just put a coat of wood preservative on the shingles down there, which again is an adjacent property, and painted the pebble dashed wall there, down as far as it needs to go. So I think there's 1 decking board to go in there. I'm going to do a bit of infill, looking straight into happy days. So yeah, that's probably in all about perhaps 5-8 hour days from start to now. Probably the same amount to go yet. The tricky bits, the staircase and all the finishing off and the fiddly bits, that sort of thing. But we're getting there. Just on a little side note, I had lots of offcuts of the decking boards, all sort of 300 odd mil long. So what I did was basically mitered the pieces up, short bits, long bits, and made up these little planter boxes. And they're going to go on the outside of the deck. I'll show you where they're going to go. So I've got 3 of these at the moment, but I'm sure I'm going to have enough timber left for more. And as you can see, they're going to sit on the outside of the railings and be planted up with flowers, but we're going to save that for next summer probably. But I dare say they'll show up in a video in the future. Oh, and there's the other cat from next door walking along the wall. That's Midge. So we got Lucius and Midge. Neither are my cats, by the way, but they seem to like to come for a visit. So just to show you where we've got to, that part of the deck in the 3.2 square is now, actually I've treated the surface on this part. As you can see, compared to the phase 2, that hasn't been treated and that has. I've got the 3 boxes. The railings go along on the higher part of the deck there, 2 sets of railings, and then drop down, 3rd set of railings. The opening for the stairs, which I haven't even started yet, and I fitted another post there for the infill. And I'm thinking in this area here, as I live by the coast, as a bit of a feature, and I think also down the banisters of the stairs, I'm going to collect some driftwood and make up a bit of an arty panel just to break it up a bit. I've filled in down the edge, a couple of tapered boards, a couple of offcuts, that sort of thing. Take a bit of cutting these boards lengthwise, but I managed it. But yeah, phase 1 and 2 complete. Well, I do hope you found this change from my normal sort of videos interesting. It's a decking project, as I said. It's a big old thing. Apologies for not having much machining up over the last few weeks, but as you can imagine, I've been busy with this and the actual work that I do as well, so I haven't had a great deal of chance. I'm actually off this weekend, off to Turkey for a couple of weeks, but I will do ongoing reports on how the decking's going as I build it along, not in, all in one video, but I'll show little bits as I go along, as I get on with projects in the future. I've got a couple of projects in line, so we can all look forward to those as they come. So anyway, I've been Ade. Don't forget to push that subscribe button if you haven't already, and thank you to all those that have. I think we're on 867 subscribers today, so thanks very much to all of those of you that have subscribed. Anyway, bye now.